So, Imtiyaz, you want to give some?
Shor, have you seen any films?
I've worked for the Mami scene.
Acha, acha, acha. It was nice.
I don't have. Like a challenging or an experience, challenging or fun experience.
So,
It was fun, yeah, because what happened is like actually Annie is not my assistant. She's just somebody I know. I've read her fiction and non-fiction. My assistants were all busy, and I met quite a few young directors who I said, okay, we have a good subject. I mean, a good story with Shor as the thing. And it took us. I mean, we couldn't find anybody really. And then almost last moment, she came up with this story in about 48 hours. I had a great time. What were the inputs that you shared with your understudy?
perfect thing. Why don't interrupt? Star Love Ajkal and Jab We Met. So, there is already a working rapport of understanding, and also I felt that we did not have this problem of I would boss over him or he would listen to me, because even while he was assisting me, he wasn't really listening to me. so it was fun that because he is the most unpredictable type character who's worked with me. So it was fun that he would be the one who I'd be working on, and he would be directing. And like it was almost time for me to say that you get a taste of your own medicine now. And so all the chaos that he had to go through, but really my inputs were really not measured or even decided. It was just that at every stage he would come whenever he felt like and said, this is my story, do you like it? Then I'd say, ye acha, ye bura, whatever my concept was, whatever my reaction was, I'd give it to him. And at every stage it just happened like that. At rough cut stage, before that, when he was making his shoot plan or the music. So it was like that, and it was a lot of fun actually.
Imtiyaz, Satish, of course, there's a feel of Imtiyaz Ali even in his film.
You think so?
Yeah, with regards to the travel bit, because even in your films, the characters, they go through a transformation when they travel. And I was watching even in this film, when they travel, when they are on their way to the gig, the girl sense of, she gets a feeling of realization. So I thought that there was a lot of Imtiyaz Ali bit even.
I don't think he's going to take it kindly, but if you say so.
Sriram, hi.
Hi, sir.
So what we notice is that the underlying theme of almost all the film, all the short film is progressive. We're talking about all the writers who have been killed, or we're talking about Saffron mobiles. We're actually taking a dig at what is happening in a way, cashback and everything. It's I think a wonderful way of seeing it as well. But considering that in today's time, slight sarcasm and all these things are not appreciated. आपने ये कैसे बोल दिया anti-national and all that stuff. Do you find that it was refreshing? I really enjoyed both those films as well. Both were really good. But do you find it that maybe it's a good medium of expressing, but there are a lot of other mediums which are being imported?
I mean, films are the best way of expressing any thought. You can also disguise it if you want. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't know what problem kya hai. I was expecting more such stories.
But the thing is, when you're talking about Saffron mobile and when you say all those things, when you're talking about the writers who are killed, some of the references to Kalburgi and all those things that have happened in the last few years. So a lot has happened in the last maybe couple of years. A lot has been said, and the moment you express something, you start hearing all those shrill voices and they call names, all sorts of names. So many are saying that cinema is the perfect medium of just stamping it down. A lot of filmmakers, they've been totally, in fact, their entire confidence has been totally shattered in terms of that you should not be saying this, you should not be working with that, such people. So in that context, it's a wonderful change. It's like I would say in a way, it's like a bold move as well.
I think they all chose. I mean, the main thing was the theme. That was common. Otherwise, they all chose their own stories. I mean, nobody gave them stories. I don't think so. No? I mean, they all of them, I think, chose their own stories, and I think they are trying to express in their own way what they feel about everything.
You like to say something?
Yeah, you are more talking about two stories, right?
Yeah.
And the one with the mobile phones had references of that, and Azad had references. Yeah.
Even Decibel had that cashback that the guy says that I won't accept credit card.
That was clairvoyant.
That was before
There's a bit of
before
a
demonetization.
But I think the story must have been written before this. I would like to say something. I feel that I know what you're saying, Faridun, and I do feel that cinema, as he said, you can even disguise things. Cinema cannot be coming out from a position of fear. It cannot be. And there are all kinds of forces in the world that come and go. But it is important for filmmakers, and especially young filmmakers, to be clear of what they want to say and say it in the way that they can, and in the way that it affects people in a positive way. I don't think that there is any message in this movie which is either subservient or anti anything. They're just making their films.
So this is like a collection of 7 short films where you could lay out possibly subservient messages, but when you're making your big ticket film, where there's like big ticket, do you think this allows you more freedom where you could take those turns and
Not to give subservient messages, but see, the financial risk usually is considered to be bigger when you're making a bigger budget film and it is one film, etc., etc. I don't know so much about it, didn't give so much thought. There has been so much movement in that area, and I have been absent actually, so I don't really know exactly what's going on. But yeah, I think logically there would be,
So for them to make a transition to feature films, what would be your best advice to them? What is the road ahead for them, and how should they tackle it?
I think we should
Commercial cinema, I'm talking about Bollywood, because
for them as directors to step
I think,
up.
I mean, some of them may not want to make feature films, some of them want to make feature films. I think the method is to write, that's the best method, write or adapt the story which is close to their heart. So what a short film does is basically gives you the confidence that you can do something, and you also learn what you don't know, So it's better than, I feel making a film actually is the best education to make another film.
That's true.
So, how do I say it? So, there's so many people who have made a short film which worked, and hence somebody noticed them, and so that. So I think it's
But
depending
it's,
on
I think, maybe a good idea to ask them
them, yeah,
whether they would like to make feature films. Do you guys? Who doesn't want to make?
Yes.
Yeah,
All of you? What about you?
I think,
Yeah, and what about
I'm
Annie?
not sure.
Well, I see myself primarily as a writer. I think the core of all my work, whatever work I do, is writing, and I would most definitely like to write feature films. Making, I'm still kind of making my mind up about that.
Did you enjoy the process of direction?
Well, with shorts actually, it's a little more complicated, I think, because when you work on a very tight budget, and I've worked on an even tighter budget in the past, like much tighter than this. But I also think that you end up doing a lot of the production yourself, and
That will never change. Will that change?
everybody
I
assures
remember
me that it
when
will
she came,
change.
when she first came
Assuring
on
me
board.
it will change.
It will never. I don't know who tells you. Sorry, Srina, what were you
When she
saying?
came on board, the first thing I told her, look, apparently it's a very kind of very low budget and so on. She said, my last film I made in $7 grand. I said, okay, then you have a chance. So that. So.
Yeah.
What about the rest? Everybody? everyone wants to direct feature films.
But just a question that I wanted to ask. The most refreshing bit about a short film is the fact that we got to see real actors. You know, when they come into feature films, it's the star sons and the superstar system that takes over. So how discouraging is that? You have a script, you want to cast an actor, but then the studio says, no, we want to go with the superstar. So if you could just offer an advice to them.
This is such an old problem that it's like, I'll say the same things which a lot of people would have said, that, you know, the power of a story or the lure of the story should be the reason to make a film, and any other, there should be no more system than that. But it's been going on for 100 years all over the world, actually.
Have you ever faced any such problems while starting
Star problems.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like if you could share.
I also made my first film, and I remember that I was trying to cast Abhay Deol in it, and Anurag and me had gone to some actually very nice guys, but jewelers to produce the film. You know, they were very great guys, you know, and they said they want to produce films. So then, kahani bahut acha hai. And then I remember a guy said, nice story, good, great. Abhay, but I think we should get Shah Rukh Khan for it. So I said, yeah, Shah Rukh Khan. So then it didn't happen, then it happened elsewhere. So things like that have happened, of course, and so many that I don't even remember.
Did you at that time ever think that you want to
I
work
should
with
have.
Shah Rukh Khan? Or now that you're working with
See, what happens usually is, I think it's the same for many directors, that you have a story and there you feel that this type of person is suited. Shah Rukh Khan couldn't be suited. I was making a story of a guy who's like Abhay's age at that time. Shah Rukh Khan was not that age.
He plays that anyway.
Okay, guys, I just want to ask if you had any, you know, since you saw the 7 films, if you had any questions for them, about their films.
Okay, so these films will be will they be available on YouTube or?
They are releasing tomorrow theatrically. You can get tickets on bookmyshow.com
That is fine, but
and eventually on Amazon Prime Video.
Achha, Amazon Prime, so
Not
they
yet,
should be
yeah.
launching very soon.
They have launched.
They have launched, but so they must be released. They
Once the
can
film
release
goes through
this soon.
theatrical rounds, then it will get launched on their platform. No, as a omnibus, as a feature. It is a feature.
This for the filmmakers, any of it based on a true story or is it all work of fiction?
Guys,
Mine is a true story.
Mine is kind of not based on a.
when you
true
say
story.
mine, also say which film.
Yeah, Mia I Am, the last film in the series. So it's not based on a true story, but inspired, you could say. Like long time back, there was this thing in Delhi called DPS MMS Kant.
Yeah.
So that was the video which triggered me to make this film, because I kept thinking about what must have actually happened to that girl.
Yeah.
So after that, whatever you see in the film is my figment of imagination, where I thought how the character probably would be in her life after that, and then eventually how she could probably get out of it. So I want to show the problem and then a solution within itself.
But coming to your film,
Yeah.
in my opinion, was it necessary to, like, till the time she became a star and her video was going viral,
Yeah.
was it necessary to add that last frame when this other girl comes and she asks that are you? So that kind of disturbing, I mean, there's this
I am so
end
glad
which
you
I'm
asked this
so
question.
into it, and
Shit.
then you're suddenly adding another frame, which is like, which wasn't, in my opinion, necessary.
No, you actually asked the most important question, because initially when I had written, I was very excited with this thought that somebody should come and tell this guy that are you that motherfucker, Rohan? Because it's not her revenge. It's mostly like we keep seeing a lot of these incidents where people keep posting pictures of somebody harassing somebody on Facebook and all. So we just write a comment, what an asshole, what a stupid guy, or we just walk away after that. And do any one of us kind of remember their faces or anything to do with that? Will you ever come across that guy and you recognize that, are you that same guy who did something like that? So I was just trying to have a take on that aspect, that if we are witnessing something like that, maybe it's a good idea to actually just have a little bit of memory of, I don't know, it might not work. It's a very hypothetical thing. But the idea is that what if somebody actually remembers, because somebody is so hurt and disturbed by this girl's story, that they actually recognize this guy who's flirting with another girl randomly, and probably he could have done the same thing with her. She could have also fallen in the same trap. And luckily she recognized that he's that asshole whom I had seen. So she goes up to him and says, "Are you that motherfucker, Rohan?" So I was initially.
So I must say that there was a time when he said that I don't want to keep it, and I was insisting that he does, because I thought there was some sort of a hard justice and a good ending to the. I would like to see it, that kind of thing.
Sorry, one more thing on that. So the reason why I didn't keep that.
I was trying to cut you because people are like indicating. There is Mia here, so this is the actor who did that. She's sitting in the corner there, in case you want to meet her. Yeah, sorry.
Coming back to your point, which you were asking, coming out of real life experiences. So most of my film, that is Hello Hello, the one about the mobile phones. I think I have faced all those situations, and that's why I had so much to say that I could have gone on and on. So it's a culmination of all the experiences that I've had, and then that last bit which is fictionalized, that what if the person you are selling something to doesn't need that, and then the YouTube bit where it will still keep coming to you. So that is what I have experienced, and I have lived almost every moment of my life. So it comes out of.
Yeah, the thought is very good. I would, especially it's very, very relevant when I think market is running not on need but on the need of the company to sell.
Trusting something.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not based on what you need as consumer. That's right.
Imtiyaz, has the film been censored? I mean, because it's having
Yes,
theatrical
of course,
release.
of course.
This is the uncensored version that you saw.
Okay.
It's censored.
This one was uncensored.
Oh, this what you saw was uncensored.
But it
Yeah,
was
yesterday we played a version which was
So you know
censored.
that only Satish's film will have all the cuts.
That's again unfair, right? Because it
Very.
takes away-
Yes, it's
Very,
very.
very.
In fact, we all have been feeling that.
It is very unfair, yeah, but it's all right.
I think also because Satish's film, I think it had to be much more like vulgar. Vulgar in the way more descriptive, raw, to really get that feeling.
But then Imtiyaz, just something on that. Don't you think it is hypocritical of Mr. Nelani to pass Befikri and then
What to say, Mr. Nelani? There's nothing like. I have nothing to say.
Why this? Why this deal with? Is there a deal with YRF that?
Why even bother about why?
No,
because it's
because
like,
young filmmakers are getting curbed like this.
yeah, but abhi to it's a huge. It's like Mariana Trench. It's too much work to actually try to even understand why he's doing what he's doing.
But in this, because of this, do you feel there's a lot of self-censorship that happens at the writing stage and even at the editing stage by the filmmaker itself? Because
That's an interesting. Do you think so?
I think so, because I was resisting the idea.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No, your
Sorry,
answer.
sorry. Yeah, I say because till the last moment I was considering कि यार ये saffron कुछ बहुत ही गलत sense में ना चला जाए, so I had to keep it within a certain framework. So I personally experienced that censoring bit.
What about you guys?
Shriram ji, आपके विचार, you have faced a lot.
No, yeah, in fact, after he came, my Badlapur was the first one which got through, and I actually should not complain at all. I was like, and my producer was, of course, very smart. He was saying, can I get a U certificate? I am saying, they are giving A with no cuts. You should be very happy. So,
He wanted a U certificate.
that is Dino's trick to ask for so much that
But that's a good trick. I think it'll work.
Yeah, it's a fab trick.
I think it works.
How do you see the profit margin coming up for short films, the revenue model and stuff?
That really, I think the producers should answer.
There are no profits in short.
There are no revenue models, but I can say something that, with this film and because we are thinking of releasing it and we've managed to keep the budgets really small and taken favors from people like post-production and all to give this film the quality that it needs, that we have kind of, we've not made any money, but we will break even definitely. So that's a good thing because many people are not even able to release their films.
So, I just want to add over there that today, 4 years ago, I think it was much harder. Things are looking brighter and better.
Yes.
There are a lot of OTT platforms coming up. Everyone, since there are so many, everybody needs content. So there's a big rush towards shorter content that you can watch in a quick 5-minute gap or break that you have. So yes, I think that is money will come. We are expecting 2017 to be the year of short films and young directors and new faces.
I have a question for Annie. So your film is, which year is your film based in, considering it's a futuristic film?
An undated time, let me just say this. I haven't thought of a particular year. It is just perhaps not too far in the future.
Let me introduce Mr. Raghavan Bharadwaj. He is the other partner of Hamara movie, and he lives in America, and he's also do you think that there's a difference between the short film market in India vis-a-vis the US?
Well, there is, because the network speeds are far superior. Much better consumed rather than here. So it's definitely a huge difference between here and there.
Better quality there?
There's no buffering.
No, I'm saying even in the content.
Content, well, I mean, the things that go viral there are far more than what happens here. Maybe the MMS thing went viral here, but like, the lot more content that comes out, but again, it's not from a production company. It's more so from individual contributors, which it just
becomes
goes viral, and most of the videos that you see which go viral are mostly from America. So yeah, we hope to make a few things viral, far from it.
Like the kind of video that went viral you just said, like the sex video.
Yeah, well, those are the types of videos that go viral here, but like there are a lot more other content-based videos that go viral there, like a dog or like whatever. And I don't. What? Cats.
Dogs and cats will go viral everywhere.
Yeah, what is happening to the world?
The world is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Okay, that's
I'd like to ask the directors, the short film directors, something not the mentors. Of course, it's great that you have mentors and everybody loves a mentor, but are there downsides to it?
Yeah, good question. Good one. What's your name?
My name is Akriti.
Akriti, good one.
I think not for me at all. Actually, most of us share such a good equation with our mentors that, like Imtiyaz said about Satish, कि ये मेरी नहीं सुनता, most of us. मतलब my mentor Homi says that.
Homi का तो सुनना मुश्किल ही है ना. I mean, you can take him seriously as a diving instructor, but like not.
No, but especially for the first film, it was a great security blanket that we all had. That you get good feedback, you get immediate response, which helps a lot. So no downside that I can.
And they've never tried to impose their opinions on us.
Great, you guys are lucky. But as mentors, you're filmmakers yourselves, and now you're presenting a film and mentoring your respective films. What's the takeaway that you have from something like this?
Starting with you, sir.
You start.
There is actually, for me, it was just like, if I feel that if Satish was making a film, and it would be like this anyway, in the way that it was not mentoring. Mentoring is a certain term, but sometimes when movies are being made, they are not made in isolation. You talk to people, you bounce off a lot of stuff with a lot of people. Here it was just one person largely. I'm sure that he's also bounced it off many other people, but so for me it was not mentoring really. It was just being involved with the story, thinking about it and giving views about it, engagement, which I enjoyed. For me it was just that.
I mean, I did because I've not worked with her before as in filmmaking. So I remember I used to try and make it more PC, will people understand, make this. I used to do all that, and then at some point I realized she's got a different approach to the whole thing. And she likes a certain deliberate kind of a pace and does not necessarily need all ends tied up and so on. And I have to respect that. So sometimes, you just feel, it's very easy for me to say, okay, no, you do this. But then it's neither my film nor her film, So
yeah, that's true.
I have to just, listen to her and, okay, try and give my best. I must have been a pain here and there. But eventually, I think all the decisions were...
No, I don't think it was a pain at all. In fact, I think he told me upfront, like you said, there was no question of anyone watching over you in that sense. But like right upfront, he had said that, listen, you can just say that, you can let me know that this is my film and this is how I'm going to do it. And I don't think it even ever came to that. I think that he expressed his opinion, and where I agreed, I agreed. He was very helpful with the because I have a certain languorous approach to telling stories, and it was very helpful because his sensibility is so different from mine that even if I don't completely take on board everything he's saying, if he's saying something and my editor is saying the same thing, then I'm open to like changing it a little bit in that sense. So I thought that it was very useful actually.
I think the interesting thing about the concept was also that directors were being mentors to other directors.
Right.
So they know only too well how they want their own freedom. So it will be unusual that a director imposes autocracy on somebody else when they know that wo to uski picture, it's like his film.
I just wanted to add, like, for example, Rahul was working with Meera Nair and she was in the US, and that's an interesting, if you could tell them how you guys work, it was very interesting to us.
We work through Skype. We had a lot of Skype sessions, but that's how we've been working. We run a company called Mirabai Films. She lives in New York, I live in Bombay. But there was no, I don't remember any moment where she would impose that this is what you must do. There were a lot of moments when we would disagree, but eventually I'm very thankful that she respected the fact that it's your film, it's your voice. So say it the way you want, learn your mistakes through this.
Can I add a question? Were you guys competitive amongst each other, the 7 of the direct mentors?
We are not competitive when it comes to our own films. We should be, I think. We don't, no, not at all.
No, but I'm sure that in my conversation with many of you, sometimes you used to think, no, this story I can't pass because, especially I know that Sriram took some 4-5 stories before which he could pass Annie's story. He was not like, we were saying, Sriram, please do this is nice, we were like trying to tell him, do this is nice, but he was like, no, I can't be there presenting something which I'm
which
not,
I don't
because
like,
there are other big directors and big names. So I'm sure you were like,
No, of course. That is, I think, natural. You can't, if there's something which I find is just not working for me or substandard or whatever, I have to, once there was somebody told me, you don't do anything, just put your name on some TV series, you'll get some
money.
It's not bad money, and later on I saw the ad in the bus, behind the bus. Thank God, but he was not there. You get the money didn't come, but sometimes you just want your own peace.
Yeah, sure. But it's not for the sake of competition that
No, not at all.
It's just that
I did ask them, okay, what is so-and-so's film about and all that. But they didn't know, they didn't tell, and also I just wanted to make sure, okay, it's not that there are 3 films being made on one, even though it's Shor.
What do you think is that, do you feel somewhere that the entire foundation for language is slightly getting lesser and lesser? Because in the last one we see that there is a lot of English which is there. And so the communication is very apt. It has the desired impact. We've seen Dear Zindagi recently, it has a lot of English.
okay. Hindi, Urdu.
English.
Do you feel that it's primarily more the English in a way that people react to more than the language?
Yes, I do feel, I think language changes in every country all the time. And in the years that I've been in this country, I feel that language has changed. Even in society, the words that I used to say as a child, actually I don't say anymore. And it's evolution. We sometimes feel that a language is losing its grip or purity, but I think it's evolution. English is a big part of the, we are talking in English right now. And the mix that our country provides is changing, and that is going to be reflected in cinema, I think. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. Yeah, and especially in this feature presentation, because in a way you know that it will be catering to a certain segment of the theatrical audience where this will not be a very big comprehension issue. So I think it was well justified.
Can I also? Sorry, I keep asking. I was, one of the things that we had just been talking and about women directors in Bollywood, etc. And I'm so happy, Ameera, Supriya, Nima, Annie.
4 of them.
4 of
majority.
the 7 majority are women directors. So I wanted, all of them to actually, Ameera, if she was mentored by Zoya. So I was wondering, have you or Zoya, have you worked with her, felt any sort of
discrimination
or drawbacks because you're a female director with a crew?
Not at all, actually, because I think the way I started, I worked with Meera before this, and I worked with Zoya after that. So I only worked with very strong women. I worked with Reema. So I have only worked with very strong women directors, and that's how I got conditioned, when I started out. So I've seen, and I've worked very closely with Zoya, and I've seen the way she is on set. The sort of control that she commands without ever being controlling or bossy. So I think that was part of my learning when I started films. I don't know who I was answering.
Yes. Yeah. Please answer. Arunima,
Yeah, I would be lying if I would say I have faced any issues. Like I'm from film school, and it is one of the most there's a lot of gender equality there. I didn't face any sort of sexism in film school. When I came out, I worked with Homi, and luckily, like that entire setup again, I've never felt like it's actually, and when I am on set, I feel absolute respect from my DOP, from my entire unit, and I think that's a good thing. But I would not deny that many other friends of mine have felt sexism at workplaces, including film sets, and we've spoken about it. It's just that I haven't.
But are we ever going to get away from the tag of being women directors, women writers, women comedians?
Yeah.
I think when the question stops coming at some point, when someone doesn't have to ask us that, that's when
the time. Because we have never thought of the job as gender based in any way, because it's a job that I'm doing.
Every time I've accompanied Zoya for any interview, this question has come up. Then what does it feel like to be a woman director? I don't know. What does it feel like to be a man director?
Good answer.
So I don't know.
Superb. Anyway, so any questions? Sorry, someone was asking. It releases tomorrow, December 16th in theatres across 6 cities: Bombay, Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Gurgaon, Delhi, Chandigarh.
Very nice.
So please spread the word. We will, follow us on Hamara Movie at Facebook. You will get all the updates on this show timings, and just support film like this. And hopefully these are our next set of big directors coming out of India, and we wish them all success.
All the best. Thank you. Thanks for being here.